We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out.
Hello everybody, this is Mr. Laubach. I hope you are doing well. In this video, we are going to do an introduction to Congress. In this picture, you can see the Capitol building here. This is referred to as Capitol Hill. So this is the rotunda. Here on the left is where the House of Reps does their thing. Here on the right is where the U.S. Senate does their thing. This is where the inauguration is, and all of crowds, when we would have crowds at inauguration, this is where they would go. So this, of course, is in Washington, D.C. Behind the building is the U.S. Supreme Court building, and this building is not far at all from the White House also. In addition to where the House and the Senate meet as a whole, in this Capitol building, there are many congressional offices, there are committee rooms, so it is quite a busy place with a lot of rooms, and there's a lot of activity in this building throughout the day. So in this video, I'm going to quickly go over some background intro information about Congress. We are also going to compare and contrast the two chambers of Congress, the House of Reps and the Senate. So again, this will just be a little intro to Congress, the legislative branch as a whole. Congress is considered the first branch of the government. In other words, the framers thought it would be the most important and most powerful branch, even though they were attempting to make three co-equal branches of government. Congress is detailed in the first part of the Constitution, Article 1. Congress has the most detail in regards to its responsibilities out of all three branches of government. We have a bicameral legislature. This means that our legislature has two chambers. If you remember, this grew out of a compromise at the Constitutional Convention in 1787. Some framers favored representation according to population, and others thought representation should be equal among the states. Roger Sherman of Connecticut introduced the Connecticut Compromise, which made it so there would be two chambers. One would be equal representation of the states, that would be the Senate, and the other one would be based on state population. That, of course, would be the House. The basic roles of Congress. Through legislative debate and compromise, Congress makes laws that influence our daily lives. So all of these laws that are at the federal level are a product of Congress's work and the president signing them into law. Congress holds hearings to inform the legislative process. These hearings happen in committees. Committees play a big role in Congress, and we'll talk more about committees in the future. Know that committees play a crucial role in the lawmaking process, and pretty much every law must begin in a committee and must be voted out of committee to continue on the lawmaking journey. It is important to note that most laws actually do not make it out of their initial committee assignment. Congress conducts investigations to oversee the executive branch. This is called oversight power. Congress can look into the actions of the executive branch, including the president, to see if anything was done incorrectly or not done well enough. Congress will oftentimes investigate the federal government response after a natural disaster as well. And there was a big investigation that went into how the government responded to September 11, 2001. Congress can also investigate pretty much any aspect of society that they choose. Congress has had investigations into steroids in Major League Baseball and concussions in NFL football. Congress can use these hearings to guide themselves in any potential legislative action they would like to take accordingly. Congress serves as the voice of the people and the states in the federal government. Congress is considered the branch of government that is closest to the people in the sense that the people elect directly members of Congress. Also, if citizens have an issue with the federal government, they oftentimes will go directly to their member of Congress in seeking a resolution. As an example, if a citizen has trouble getting their Social Security check, the first thing they should do is call their House member's office to see if they can help them out. Now we're going to compare both chambers of Congress. On the left, you'll see this is the House of Reps, and on the right is the U.S. Senate. So the House of Reps is a larger body. Of course, there are currently 435 members. Pennsylvania has 18 of those members. The Senate has 100 members. That is 2 members for each state, no matter how big or small the state is. House members are voted in for a shorter term, so every 2 years a House member is up for re-election. Senators have 6-year terms, and the framers wanted them to be more of a stable body. So the different term length of a House member and a Senate member is certainly a significant difference. House members have smaller constituencies, so they are elected by their district within the state. So on average, a House district has about 500,000 people. Senators represent the state as a whole, therefore they have a larger constituency. They are elected by the entire state. In the House, members tend to be younger. The average age in the House of Reps is in the 50s. Older membership in the Senate, the average age of the Senate happens to be in the 60s. Generally speaking, there is less prestige to work in the House of Reps and more prestige to work in the Senate. Again, this prestige is in the eye of the beholder, but many House members aspire to one day be their state senator. And everyone in the state pretty much knows who their senators are. In the House, most work is done in committees. So if you are a House member, you will spend most of your time working in a committee. Remember, with 435 members, it is hard for them to get anything done when they are working as such a large group. So they use the divide and conquer technique by breaking the work up into committees. So as a member of the House, you'll do most of your work in your committee. In the Senate, on the other hand, time is split more evenly between committee work and work on the floor, with only 100 members. In the House, there are strict rules and limited debate. So when a bill goes through the lawmaking process in the House, it must follow strict rules and time limits for debate are set. In the Senate, on the other hand, there's a lot more flexibility. There's nearly unlimited debate, and something called the filibuster, which we'll talk about later, can exist in the Senate. So in terms of latitude with how a bill can be dealt with, the Senate has more flexibility. In the House of Reps, they focus mostly on domestic issues. They have no power over treaties or presidential appointments. They also tend to focus on more localized issues. The Senate, on the other hand, has more of a foreign policy focus. They approve treaties, or they can reject treaties. They also must approve presidential appointments. So these presidential appointments are federal judges or justices, including the Supreme Court. They must also approve presidential cabinet level appointees and the appointees to head the different executive agencies. Also, sometimes the president will send senators to other nations to help negotiate treaties. So these are just some of the major differences between the House and the Senate.